the Cabinet Secretary outlined the pharmaceutical composition of Velo, a nicotine drug packaged in pouches, including addictive nature and side effects of the said drug, as well as the regulatory mechanism that the Ministry has put in place to restrict access to or the sale of Velo drug to minors. Secondly, clarify whether the Velo drug has sneaked back to the market as a rebrand of Lift, a similar drug that was banned in the year 2019-2020 by the Ministry of Health for not meeting Section 23, Part 1 and 2 of the Pharmacy and Poisons Act. And 3, explain whether the said drug is locally manufactured in Kenya, by who, and if not, provide details of the licensed distributors in the country, including whether the manufacturer or distribution in Kenya is legal. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable CS, as you respond to this one, there are also questions on what Velo is by honorable members. Make your response.
Honorable
Wait, Honorable CS. Honorable.
Madam Speaker, that question will come. For the sake of honorable members, I brought in samples of what Velo is, and I have them. I've not opened them, Madam Speaker. And they are
honorable member
in Kenya. So
Honorable Sabina,
members can cross over. They just see, but you cannot open because it is addictive. Thank you.
I want to confirm you've not opened or used it at all. All right, honorable members, let us hear the CS on this product. Those who would want to see it will see it from Honorable Sabina.
No.
Order members, now we are becoming disorderly. Kindly let the CS make the response. Honorable Sabina Shege, kindly withdraw the product from showing to the members so that you can hear the response from the CS. And I think you can do that later after the response. Honorable CS.
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, Velo is one of the tobacco products that tobacco industry has introduced into the market as countries tighten the regulations on tobacco smoking. The Tobacco Control Act of 2007 requires all manufacturers and importers of tobacco products to provide the content, ingredients, and emissions of their products. Velo, which is a brand name for B18 nicotine pouches, is a non-pharmaceutical substance, but a nicotine derivative substance composed of organic nicotine derived from tobacco leaf. Hence, Velo is a tobacco product as defined under the Tobacco Control Act of 2007 and as directed by the Ministry Correspondence of MOH 13-150, Volume 183, dated 21st January 2021. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the chemical profile of the contents and constituents, ingredients, and emissions of Velo are many. I can quickly read through. Microstalline cellulose, which is a bulking agent. There's water in it. There's sodium chloride, which is a salt. There's xylitol, which is a sweetener. There's a flavor put into it. There's sodium alginate, which is a gelling agent. There's propylene glycol, which is a humectant. There's nicotine in it. There's sucralose, which is a sweetener also. And the sodium bicarbonate, an acidity regulator. The nicotine content of Velo can be as high as the nicotine content of other tobacco products, such as conventional cigarettes, traditional smokeless tobaccos, and heated tobacco products. Existing literature shows that for comparison purposes, conventional cigarettes typically contain an average of 12 micrograms to 19 micrograms of nicotine of tobacco, while heated tobacco products typically contain an average of 14 to 18 micrograms of nicotine. Users can potentially consume up to 90% of nicotine given that they are taken orally. These new product variants contain different flavors and additives which suppress the strong smell of tobacco and also makes them attractive and acceptable to the users. These flavors are berry, strawberry, menthol, mint, peppermint, lime, spearmint. Some of these novel tobacco products besides nicotine may contain other analytes such as heavy metals, and this may cause toxic to the body. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the regulatory mechanisms to restrict access to Velo, nicotine and its salts are classified as Part 1 poisons under the Poisons List Confirmation Order under Cap 244 of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, which regulates nicotine and its salts. This informed the initial basis for regulation of nicotine pouches by the brand name Lift. However, Cap 244 excludes nicotine that occurs naturally in tobacco. Therefore, the Cabinet Secretary of Health of then, on the 21st of 2021, directed that nicotine pouches, including Lift, be regulated as a tobacco product under the Tobacco Control Act of 2007 and required that they meet the requirements for tobacco products. Lift is no longer in the market, but nicotine pouches by the brand name Velo, manufactured by the same manufacturer BAT, is regulated as a tobacco product under the Tobacco Control Act. The Ministry, in collaboration with other ministries and state agencies, are in the process of reviewing the legislative and regulatory frameworks to address the new and emerging tobacco products. This will include the development of legislative and administrative instruments for the regulation of tobacco products' content and emissions, testing and disclosure of content to government authorities and the public. Restrictions of access to and by minors. The sale of tobacco products to and minors is prohibited by the Act, and all sellers of tobacco products are required to verify the age of a young purchaser. Further, the Tobacco Control Act prohibits the manufacturer, seller of objects that resemble tobacco products which would reasonably appeal to persons under the age of 18 years. The sale of tobacco products via automated vending machines is also prohibited by law to prevent access to these products by minors. Offering tobacco products for free or by sales promotion is also prohibited. The Tobacco Control Act prohibits all direct and indirect forms of advertising and promotion of tobacco, tobacco products, or tobacco-related brand elements, including sponsorship associated with young people by the tobacco industry. Further, it prohibits false promotion by means of packaging that are misleading or deceptive, or that are likely to create an erroneous impression about the characteristics, the health effects, health hazard, or social effects of the tobacco products or its emission. In addition, it is prohibited to advertise or promote tobacco products by means of testimonial, for example, role models or persons that can influence young people, or an endorsement in any manner, including that which is misleading. It also prohibits advertisement by means of organizing or promoting or sponsoring of sporting, cultural, artistic, or recreational trade fairs and exhibitions, shows, education or entertainment programs, event or activity. Display of tobacco brand elements on non-tobacco products is prohibited, including on clothing. The government, through the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, has integrated information on the dangers of tobacco and tobacco products in education curriculum. This is intended to inform the children on the effects of tobacco and is aimed at discouraging initiation or motivate quitting tobacco use, and to create change agents in the society for tobacco control, including at peer and household level. Speaker and honorable members, the second part of the question, whether Velo drug has been sneaked back to the market as a rebrand of Lift, which is a similar that was banned in 2020 by the Ministry of Health due to it not being able to meet Part 1 and Part 2 of the Pharmacy and Poisons Act. Velo, honorable Speaker and members, I want to confirm Velo is a rebrand of BAT's Lift, which was recalled off the Kenyan market by BAT following a directive by the immediate former Cabinet Secretary. Velo hit the Kenyan market in June 2022 following a moratorium that was issued on the 15th of June 2022 by my immediate predecessor. Notably, the said lift was not banned, but its registration and regulation were changed from Pharmacy and Poisons Act Cap 244 to regulation under the Tobacco Control Act of 2007. On the third question, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, explain whether the drug is locally manufactured in Kenya and by whom, and if not, provide details of the licensed distributors in the country. Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Velo is imported from Hungary but distributed in Kenya by BAT Kenya Limited. British American Tobacco, that is BAT Kenya, is licensed as a tobacco product manufacturer in Kenya and have sought manufacture nicotine pouches in Kenya, but this has not yet started. No local manufacturer of nicotine pouches exists in this country. Therefore, all nicotine pouches are imported. Honorable Speaker and members, I submit.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Honorable Sabina.
What I'd advised then, I would want even the CS to clarify the moratorium that was given by for the predecessor to lift. That was June 2022, to allow Velo back into the market. And again, having been not manufactured in Kenya, coming from Hungary, why would we as a country allow an addictive, a drug? That means when it says it's addictive, and it's actually very clear. Why should we allow a drug to come into this country? Madam Speaker, I am a mother. Madam Speaker, I can tell you, we only have a very slight, if you were to look at this, warning at the back, over 18 only. Even as per the Tobacco Act, Madam Speaker, it says for the side effect, you should write in both English and Swahili, half at the back. If you look at this Velo, it is just slightly, might be a quarter at the back. It also says 30% at the front, and you can see, Madam Speaker, it's very tiny. And the only effect they have said, this product contains nicotine and is addictive. But Madam Speaker, CS having come from the health, she knows that nicotine affects human body in other areas. For instance, the issue of cardiovascular diseases, the issues about affecting the reproductive health, and many other side effects that nicotine has, Madam Speaker. And my question is, why should the ministry allow this drug to be sold in the market? Why did we allow the British tobacco, they are not even producing it here, to import a drug to come into the Kenyan market? Madam Speaker, this government, and especially in our areas, we are talking about fighting addiction. That's why we even have Nakada. This is a drug that is clearly, even if they are saying it's nicotine, written that is addictive. And Madam Speaker, I just walked out here and I sent my driver to go and look for it. It is readily available anywhere. Our school-going children, when they're going back to school, they are buying Velo.
You've made your point.
So, Madam Speaker, I would ask the CS humbly that they reconsider the decision, and this should be banned until it is investigated properly, Madam Speaker, so that we save our generation and we save our young people. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to also emphasize and ask the CS, because right now, if you actually compare the kind of Velo sold in Kenya to the one sold in countries like Australia, Kenya has the one that has even a higher level of addiction than other countries. You walk to a petrol station, you can buy it. You go to a chemist, you can buy it. And they actually don't even ask for an ID when somebody buys Velo. And so I just want to support and emphasize and ask the Madam CS to reconsider and have a total ban on Velo. Because I can tell you for a fact, out of experience and experimenting, just to understand what Velo does. For 5 minutes, it takes you to heaven and then quickly brings you back down to earth. So it is not a good product, for sure. And
Honorable Mayaka, I do not want to ask how you know that, but I will say, Honorable CS, there is a lot of interest in this matter, and I think the one issue that you should really address is why the reintroduction of an already withdrawn product, despite having another name, hits the same market, because there was a reason why it had been withdrawn. So I will indulge the chair of Health Committee for 2 minutes maximum.
Chair, thank you. Honorable Speaker, thank you. And CS, thank you for the responses. But in your response, you refer to the Tobacco Control Act of 2007. And you know, when you look at the Tobacco Control Act of 2007, it talks of tobacco at that time, where we had maybe smoking, but even the smoking now has even gone through, there are various forms. You have electrical cigarettes, and now we also have these pouches. My question, because even as members raise, you know the onus is on this House to make amendments to the Tobacco Control Act. I want to know this from the CS. And you see, like now, even in the tobacco control, even the tobacco fund is supposed to put some tax measures to include even Velo and others that are considered to be nicotine or tobacco-like substances.
Thank you, Chair.
When do you intend to bring to the House the amendment to the Tobacco Control Act 2007?
Thank you, Chair. And even as you respond, yes, I think, Honorable Chair, you have alluded to it. The lawmaking house is not outside this house. It is in this house. So I also hope that we take our responsibility. Honorable Member for Thika, I will indulge you for a minute. Follow-up question, not debate.
Mama, thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, mine was to add and ask the CS. Some of these things that we are discussing at the floor of the House, and we know they are harmful. We should even be dealing, whether it is coming through the BAT or whatever channel that is coming in, we invite them or they go to the ministry, to the Committee on Health, so that we can know what we are dealing with, and we don't even be wasting a lot of time. Some of these things, we need even to discipline BAT, because at the end of the day, the people, it is harming our children. Because if you look at the way that drug is packaged, it is to hoodwink the young ones. It is nothing to do with the
Thank you, Honorable Member for Thika. I will need to have a copy of that so that you make reference, I can refer. Member for Navaholo, please close that section for questions. We'll have the CS respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to thank the CS for help for her submissions. But my question is, one, does the Ministry of Health work hand in hand with other departments, especially Kenya Bureau of Standards? When you look at this package, Honorable Speaker, it is stamped Kenya Bureau of Standards. And when you look at the narration by the CS, it automatically puts off that this kind of a substance is not even supposed to be in the country. Do they work hand in hand, Honorable Speaker? Number two, of it, Honorable Speaker, I just want to find out if it might be in order that, Honorable Speaker, you order that this substance be removed from the shelves. The reason being, Madam Speaker, the young, especially as parents who have girls, look at them, it can be applied in two scenarios, Honorable Speaker. Maybe it's used to slave, it is used even to be abused in terms of how it's used, Madam Speaker. In other parts, Honorable Speaker, it can be inserted. Madam Speaker, it's important you order that this substance be removed from the shelf of the Kenyan supermarkets. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I want to close this. Member for Rueda, Honorable Obogo, what is out of order?
Spika alikuwa anasema waziri atueleze wale wakiendelea kuuza Velo, sisi kule Lamu tunang'ang'ana kutafuta dawa ya kuondoa ile hamu ya matumizi ya madawa ya kulevya, na inakuwa mpangilio mrefu. Nimeomba kutoka bunge la 12 mpaka sasa, barua zote nimefanya tuletewe methadone na hatujaletewa, na huku tunaendelea kuuza Velo na sisi kule tunamalizika na cocaine, tunatafuta ministry tuletee hiyo methadone pale Lamu East. Kwa hivyo mna mipangilio gani ya kutuletea hiyo methadone ambayo nimeomba kwa muda mrefu mpaka leo haijaletwa Lamu East Faza Hospital?
Honorable CS, please make the responses.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. If Madam Speaker was to make a declaration that Velo be removed from the market as a Ministry of Health, will be the happiest, because we'll have saved the lives of many Kenyans. But as it is, Madam Speaker and honorable members, we are all relying on the Tobacco Control Act of 2017 and of 2007. So we have put together a technical team that is working at it to review the 2007 Act. Then we shall be bringing it to our health committee so that they can bring it to the House. Madam Speaker and honorable members, in regards to methadone, it is a big value chain, and I would seek your indulgence, honorable Speaker and honorable member, that I do as a specific response to that question and share it with the honorable member. I submit.
Thank you, Honorable CS and honorable members. However powerful the speaker may be, I cannot speak for you. So there exist available avenues of doing this through a motion to be a declaration or a resolution of the House, and I would urge you members to actually pick it up. Next question.